Welcome to Women on Purpose. My name is Jo, and I'm so glad you're here. Can I ask you something gently? Have you been feeling a little off lately? Like you're running on empty but still trying to push through? You're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you. Today, we're going to talk about the quiet signs your mind and body might be giving you that it's time for a mental health break. This morning, I woke up feeling a little off. Not quite myself. There was a quiet heaviness I couldn't shake. A touch of sadness. A flicker of worry. And that vague, restless feeling that something wasn't quite right. My husband, sweet as ever, tried to help. But the truth is, it wasn't something he could fix. I needed something deeper. Something quieter. So I laced up my shoes, stepped outside, and went for a walk. As I walked, I found myself reflecting on my own mental health, the subtle ways it shows up when I've been doing too much for too long. The fresh air helped clear my mind just enough to realize this would be a meaningful conversation to have with you. I thought about the signs I've noticed in myself and the ones I've seen in the women I love. Sisters, friends, daughters, mothers. I gathered them here gently, not as a checklist, but as a way to say, you're not alone. Let's talk about the quiet signals that it might be time for a mental health break. You're constantly exhausted. There's tired, and then there's the kind of exhaustion that settles into your bones, the kind sleep doesn't fix. If you're waking up just as weary as you were the night before, it's not just physical. It's emotional, mental. Even the smallest things, emptying the dishwasher, replying to a text, getting dressed, can feel like climbing a mountain. You might find yourself forgetting things, zoning out, or just feeling like you're barely keeping up. This kind of fatigue doesn't mean you're lazy or broken. It often means you've been carrying too much for too long, without a real pause. Chronic stress, emotional burnout, overcommitment, they don't show up loudly at first. They whisper through your body, asking you to slow down. And if we don't listen, they start to shout. So here's a gentle reminder from one woman to another. Listen to your body. You don't need permission to rest. You feel emotionally numb. Sometimes the hardest feeling to name is no feeling at all. You're not exactly sad, but you're not happy either. Just sort of blank. Things you used to enjoy don't bring the same spark. Emotional numbness can be your brain's way of protecting you when everything becomes too much. It builds a wall, not to shut out joy, but to block the overwhelm. And while that wall can feel safe at first, over time it starts to separate you from yourself. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're worn down, and your body is trying to cope. So gently, start with something small. A cozy blanket, a favorite cup of tea, a familiar playlist. Even if it feels flat right now, it's a step toward coming back to yourself. Your patience is paper thin. Lately, the tiniest things might be setting you off. A spilled cup of coffee, a slow driver, someone asking a simple question. And you feel terrible about it afterward. But it's not just moodiness. It's a sign your nervous system is stretched thin, stuck in a constant state of alert. Your body is living in survival mode, even when there's no immediate danger. This isn't who you are. It's how stress is showing up through you. You're not a bad person for feeling irritable. You're a person who's been holding too much for too long. When you feel the edge rising, take a moment to step away. Breathe deep. Step outside if you can, even just for 5 minutes. That tiny reset can help you return with a little more softness for yourself and for others. You're struggling to focus. You sit down to do something simple, and 5 minutes later, you've forgotten what it was. The laundry, the email, the message you meant to send, it all blurs together. Your brain feels foggy, like it's wading through water. And the more you try to push through, the worse it gets. This kind of mental clutter isn't laziness. It's a sign your mind is tired, completely worn out from holding too much, solving too much, worrying too much. It's okay to pause. Try 10 minutes away from screens. Step outside. Drink some water. Let your mind breathe. A little space can do wonders. You're getting sick more often. You've had more headaches lately. Maybe your body aches for no clear reason, and those little colds, they just keep coming back. It's easy to dismiss it as the season or bad luck, but your body might be waving a quiet red flag. Chronic stress can take a toll on your immune system, slowly wearing it down. When we're always in go mode, our body doesn't get the time it needs to heal and replenish. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. Your body is asking for rest, for kindness, for care. Start small. Drink some water. Take a walk. Go to bed a little earlier tonight. Add one more veggie to your plate. Try 5 slow breaths before you rush to the next thing. You deserve to feel strong and well again. Simple decisions. Feel overwhelming. Some mornings, even picking what to wear feels like too much, or you stand in front of the fridge and nothing feels right. It's not because you're indecisive, it's because your mind is already full. Decision fatigue is real, and it hits hard when you're mentally stretched thin. When your brain is juggling stress, emotions, and responsibilities, simple choices become heavy. Be gentle with yourself. This is a sign that you need less pressure, not more discipline. Start by simplifying where you can. Wear your favorite cozy outfit again. Eat something that soothes you, not impresses anyone. Remove unnecessary choices from your day. Let ease be your guide, not guilt. You don't have to do everything the hard way. Restoring your energy begins with giving yourself permission to keep things simple. Your inner critic is louder than ever. Some days, the loudest voice in your head is the one tearing you down. You're not doing enough. You're failing. Why can't you keep up like everyone else? That voice feels familiar, but it's not telling the truth. It's telling you that you're tired. It's the sound of emotional depletion, not personal failure. When your tank is empty, your inner critic gets louder. But here's what's also true. You are trying. You are carrying a lot. You are doing your best with what you have. That deserves compassion, not punishment. Begin to speak to yourself the way you would a dear friend, gently, kindly. You are not falling behind. You are finding your way. You dread what you used to enjoy. When the things you used to love start to feel like burdens, it can be deeply unsettling. Maybe it's your work, or baking, or seeing friends. What once brought light now just feels like noise. You might wonder, what's wrong with me? But this isn't failure. This is burnout's quiet whisper, asking you to slow down. Joy doesn't disappear. It gets buried under exhaustion. You don't have to force your way back to it. Let yourself rest first. Take a break without guilt. Let quiet moments refill your spirit. Then, gently, return to the things you love. Not because you should, but because you're finally ready. That joy is still there, waiting for you. You keep saying, I just need to get through this week. How many times have you told yourself, I just need to get through this week? And then the next week comes with its own wave of responsibilities. Before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of postponing rest, always waiting for the next finish line. I've done it too, thinking if I can just push a little longer, I'll earn my break. But life doesn't stop. There's always another deadline, another appointment, another thing to hold together. The truth is, rest isn't something you earn after doing everything else. It's the fuel that helps you keep going. You deserve to pause, even when the to-do list isn't finished. You're allowed to rest now, not later. Don't wait until your body or your spirit forces the break. Choose it, gently and on purpose. You're relying on coping mechanisms. Some days, it's just easier to scroll, snack, or lose yourself in a show than face what's really going on inside. Maybe you've noticed that you're reaching for your phone before you've even gotten out of bed, or that the snacks disappear faster when your heart feels heavy. It's not about laziness or lack of discipline. It's about survival. Your brain is doing its best to soothe you in the only ways it knows how right now. You're not broken. You're coping, the only way you know how when things feel too big. And that deserves compassion, not criticism. But numbing can slowly pull us away from the very things that restore us. It creates a fog, making the days blur and your heart feel distant from your own life. So here's a gentle invitation to shift. Not all at once, but in small, loving ways. Make a cup of tea and hold it in both hands. Step outside, just for 5 minutes, and feel the air on your face. Write down one thing that's weighing on you and one thing you're grateful for. Let music fill the space where silence feels heavy. These small grounding moments don't fix everything, but they bring you back to yourself. And that's the first step to healing. What to do next? If you saw yourself in even just a few of these signs, please take it seriously. You're not being dramatic. You're not weak. Your body and mind are waving a gentle flag, asking for care. The good news is, healing doesn't have to be complicated. Start small. 5 deep breaths. A warm cup of tea in silence. A short walk outside without your phone. Let yourself take an hour or even a full day just for you. Not to catch up, but to slow down. Reach out to someone you trust. Write in a journal, even if it's messy. Give yourself permission to rest. You're so worth the care you give to everyone else. I should say that by the time I got back from my walk with my sweet little dog, Nikko, I felt so much better. The fresh air, the quiet, and just moving my body really helped clear the fog. And when I got home, my husband met me with a warm cup of tea and the gift of silence until I was ready to talk. That small kindness meant everything. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this video resonated with you, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe. It helps more women find this kind of gentle support, and I hope you give yourself a little break today. You've earned it.